Katja regains her composure and begins frantically scouring the apartment. She is in such a frenzy that she is stumbling over herself. Katja, Katja, what are you doing?
Hey, Coach, what's going on, man? Whoa!
Wow, I'm actually reading a book that you wrote.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, wow. Right off the bat, somebody got shot. Imagine that.
I didn't play around, man.
Wow,
didn't play
this is
around.
really cool. So,
Yes.
the vet is now an author.
Man, I'll tell you, in a million years I would have never thought this. And I'm just, I hope I wrote a good story, is what I think.
Well, I'm telling you right now, I'm excited about it. We've talked about it. I love the cover.
Oh,
I don't know how many
thank you.
times that I just scroll through and see the cover and I'm like, wow, I love it. I do have to ask,
Yes.
real quick, the sickle.
Okay, so in the story, you'll find out, but they find a sleeper cell that's been gone for a long time, and the sickle has a connotation to that.
Okay.
So,
I love it.
and there's some history, and the sleeper cell is actually a real historical reference to sleeper cell.
In Griffin, the Nazarene church friend.
Yes.
Wrote the book. I love it.
Oh.
Man, I have to ask you a couple questions about
Yes,
this
sir.
that I already want to know is, so we talked about it, but I never really asked you, what
Yeah.
made you want to start writing a book?
So I often thought about writing a book, but I always thought it was too big for me. And then one day I was taking class at Northeast Texas Community College to write better for the coach and the vet. And I said, you know what, let me just write a chapter of reminiscing about the town that my wife and I lived in for 5 years.
And what was the name of that town?
Kitzigan, which is in the book, and the cover, it's on the cover. That backdrop is Kitzigan with the Leaning Tower and everything in the back. And so
is cool.
I wrote that chapter just kind of like it was my wife and I there, reminiscent of going back there, because we went back there 2 years ago, and just kind of following how we've been. And she read it, and she's like, yeah. And I'm like, you know what, just for that, I'm going to write something. I don't know what it is, I'm going to write something. I said, why don't I do a spy book? And that's kind of how it started.
So the main characters are not Ian and Vitka.
No, as anybody writes, you write to people who you relate, kind of, but like Katja, as I like to say it, she tells me it's not Katja, it's Katya. So Katya, but I like the Katja. But Katya is a little bit of her and a little bit of a couple other people in there, personalities, you know, maybe a little more audacious in certain ways and things of that nature. And Rick is a little bit of me, but it's also a couple other people in there.
So, I mean, just by me reading the first page, I can kind of tell it's something going on here. So what's like the main storyline without giving the book away?
As you know, I struggle, and I read that this is how you're supposed to write a book. Is you're supposed to write the book and then come up with the title of it. The second one, I came up with the title, I'm like, that's the way I'm going with it. But this one, I finished the book and wasn't really sure, and I had like a list of 40 names to go with that could gravitate, and I gave it to people who I trusted, like 4 people, and I said, hey, and each one of them came back with the birth of the spy couple. And really that's what it is they're like we did. We went to Germany for 5 years, and the first night you're in a hotel. We kind of went a little different there. We went separately, one at a time, and the wife brought the family. But this here pictures us as a military couple going to Germany, and as the kids are upstairs in the bed in the hotel, they're still down at the diner eating in the guest house, and a guy hits them up, offers them to be spies while they're in the military.
Interesting.
And so the birth of a spy couple. You know, and so when you first do it, you know, are you going to be good at it, or are you going to stumble a little bit? You know, so you got to throw those things out there. And really, for me, the overarching thing, because it's a spy couple, up until like the last 2 years, really you know, it's gone more finances and money. But before then, spies had to do stuff like kill people, and they also had to be intimate. So the intimate question on a married couple is, you know, how do you deal with that? Or are you going to... You know, so there's a lot about that.
Well, I will have to say, I'm not going to say it, but what I read on the first page already got me want to read more about the intimate part of it.
Yes.
So I do have to ask a couple questions here. What is your favorite character of the book, though?
Oh, hands down, Katya.
Really?
Hands down. She is. And for those that don't know, I've already written the second book when I was in Europe, and I'm 360 pages in the third book. She is so fun to write about. And she is just so fun. and I will say when you write about somebody, they take a personality of their own, and you just kind of keep it moving. She is fun. She's very audacious, and she's very bold and brash, and she's in your face, and she has a sexuality about her that she is not afraid to flaunt it.
Do you talk about her to your wife?
No.
I mean, not talk. I mean, like, you know, Katja's this and that, and I'm taking her this way or that way.
No, she read the first book, and she says, I'll read them when they come out.
Okay.
She's very like, yeah, so.
So, and you told me how you came with the title, but is there any historical reference in the book, though?
Yeah.
Because I know you in history.
So, this book really takes place in 2005 and 6.
Okay.
And the sleeper cell, which you read about it, once you read the name, you can Google them. It is exactly, that's who it is. Now, I put that they changed their names to something else, and, you know, all that didn't happen. That was just exacerbated. But that sleeper cell really happened. When I was a soldier, it was there. We used to have pictures of them. As that sleeper cell got knocked off, they would cross through them and say, that one's dead, and, you know, and all this other such. That's there. In the times that I have the leaders of Germany and America of visiting over there are actually real. Those are real times that they visit those areas.
Well, there are certain times that I asked you questions and you're like, well, I really can't answer that because, you know, I was in the military. We can't really talk about it. Was there something you caught yourself writing about and had to go, oh, wait a minute, I can't say that?
No, not so much there. No, I didn't talk about.
No, I'm not saying that you did, but you kind of just get flowing and go, well, you know, that's a little iffy.
No, not really. The only thing I got iffy was I would write over sexual, and then I would edit it back away a little bit. So.
Well, you're just a beast. That's why. I understand. So the time frame of the book's 2005, 2008, right?
2005, 6.
2006.
Yep.
And so that would have been in the George W.
Yep.
time period? Okay.
Yep. And that's when we were over there in that town of Kitzigan.
That's right. So how long did it take you to actually write this book? I know you're talking about the second, third when you're writing or have written, but how long did it take you to write this book?
I got down on it, and everybody writes different. And for me, to go through the first rough draft was probably about 60, 70 days. And
goodness.
But I will tell you, I'm a person who thinks it out. Like if I spend some time alone, I'm going to go this way with it. I'm going to go this way. And I start just typing. I don't do any corrections. And I stay up to 2 in the morning because once I'm on a roll, I'm just like.
Yes.
And I'm sitting there pounding Dr. Peppers like I'm not supposed to be, just keep me awake, just because I'm just running through it. And I will say, as I'm doing it, I'll come to a scene that I'm like, I have 3 different courses of actions, and I'm like, in my mind, we could go this way, and it could be really, really filthy.
That's crazy.
It could be this way or this way, and then when I'm there, I'm going to go in. Which way are you going to go? Which way are you going to go? And I just say, I'm just going this way.
You've messed with me. Oh, you got to write one too. I'm not worried about that. But I wrote a lot later in life because I didn't start going to seminary till I was 40. And in seminary, everything you do is researching and writing. But I would get that same kind of thing that I would be out somewhere at dinner, I'd be with some friends or whatever, and my mind would just catch on to something that, okay, I cannot wait to get to my computer to write.
Yes.
So I'm sure you were that way.
So writing the second book, I flew over to Germany by myself. So I had 11, 13 hours on a plane by myself.
Wow. That
my mind was, and I had the whole story ready. When I got to Germany, then we waited 5 days because we went some other places. And when I got behind the computer, I just went boom, boom, boom. But I will say, understand this is, I have never been one that was proud of my writing as a kid. I wouldn't write much. And then when I got into taking college later in life, you got to write a 3-page paper. I'm like, what? And then when I got in my master's, I had to write 143. That was so intimidating.
Yeah.
And then I got where I just know I need to write more, but I'm never a guy that's, oh yeah, hey, I did that. I'm proud of that, you know, because I feel like it's not all there, you know, so.
Well, did anybody help you with the book?
So this was a cool thing is the picture on the back was taken by a young lady that was in the journalist department, Sharon Sembroni, at Northeast Texas Community College. The young lady that I got to edit, Jolie Belknap, I'll probably say it wrong. It used to be Weatherford, but now she got married, and her name's in the book. She did the editing for it, and she was phenomenal. And she's She was the editor out at the college. All three of us kind of worked in the same journalistic department. And it was just unbelievable because there would be times, just little bitty snippets, she would go, hey, you got this character here, but she normally don't talk this way. And I'm like, you are right on that, Jolie. I am so grateful that you did that, pointed that out, you know. So she was phenomenal in help editing this. And I'm going, yeah, that's a good
Well,
edit.
two things from the book that I want to at least read or say. In your dedication, of course, you dedicated it to your wife
Yep.
and Joelle, like you talked about, but you said, I have to thank Tom Krupp.
Yep.
Why is that?
So Tom Krupp, him and I had served a long time together. I served with him when I was sergeant first class, and he was lieutenant. And we served together in Kitzigan. And
okay.
now, kind of ironic, I don't really have any stories of us, and there's a lot of stories that have some family meaning to them in this book that they'll be exacerbated, of course, but they'll have hints of it here and there. But Tom Krupp has written 2 books, and I've always looked up the fact that he did it, you know, and he gave me a lot of guidance. And when I got done, I said, you know, Household 6 said that it wasn't, you know, she read it before it was edited, and she goes, you got so many edits you got to do this. You know, it's not that good. She beat me down. I mean, she took me behind the woodshed and gave me the you shouldn't have spoken church routine and beat me down. And he goes, did you have fun writing? I said, I sure the heck did. And that's all that matters.
That's one thing. Did you have fun?
I had a blast writing.
And you know, I have written articles and even one time attempted to try to write for a few days, and it's just not fun for me right now. And
Yes.
maybe it will be, but maybe I'm a nonfiction guy.
Yeah.
I've probably, let's say I've read 500 books, probably 498 are nonfiction. So to actually embellish into something would be hard for me. I would almost have to write about my life, and it's not that exciting.
So I am the same way. Is I grew up reading history books and reading op orders and reading things for the military and reading tech manuals, and this I just said I can put a little bit of my life in there without going like this in it. One thing I'd like to write about myself, but I'm not that guy that can write about himself. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm floating my ego too much, where I can just insert some stories in here, and I'm touching on my life without saying that was in or something like that. You know?
Well, we didn't discuss this, but I think I want to read just a couple things before we finish, and it's right off the back if you don't mind.
Yep.
Just so you guys will understand what this is. This is something you need to pick it up. It's something great that, you know, from the Coach and the Vet fans, but also, you know, there's other books already coming. So a lot of times, like my wife, she loves reading a series. And so I don't know if it's going to be that type of series thing, but if you're talking about the same girl in it,
it will be called overall the Rick and Katja series.
Okay.
And they will be there as long as they're alive, I guess. You know what I'm saying? So.
Well, on the back, this is what it says, people. Rick and Katja, who just arrived in Kitzigan, Germany, on a military assignment, have been given a unique proposition from a stranger to step into the darkness with a world of espionage and assassinations while still on active duty. This proposition would take their tour of duty in Germany deeper and darker than ever expected. In a world that will test their lives, their commitment to each other and their family, a spy couple is born. With unexpected twist and turn, an old enemy dark cell reemerges. Rick and Katja navigate their emergence into the world of deception and death. I mean, if that don't get you wanting to find out what they did, I don't know what will.
So I had to put something on the back, and I gemmed that up in like 30 seconds.
That's why you wrote a book. You just put it up there that fast. That's why he writes the books. Anyway, I think it's awesome. I'm proud of you, dude.
Man,
I mean,
I appreciate it.
You know, we had a first conversation after you first, well, actually we had our first conversation, and I think I can say this now, while you were in the military. We just couldn't have a public conversation about some things. But when we did, and we talked about, you know, maybe doing a podcast, maybe talking about some history, government, economics, sports, you had mentioned this about a year in. I think I want to write a book. And you did it, buddy, and so no one can ever take that away from you, that you wrote this book. And I'm excited because I haven't read it yet, but I think I have one of the first signed copies.
Yes, sir.
I'm excited.
So I'm going to read that to you here.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. So we got to hear this. So this is good.
Oh my God. Is it X-rated or?
No, it's
okay.
good. Right. So, John Brent, may you find your inner Rick after reading this book. And
here we go.
I hope you have as much fun reading this book as I did writing it, because I enjoyed the heck out of writing it. Follow Rick and Katja's journey, and now, my friend, write your book.
Too boring.
My
I'm just
friend,
too boring.
all my best, Ian Griffin. Yes, sir.
I'm so excited about this.
So, yeah.
My wife and I will both be reading this, and we got some other friends we're going to get some copies for. But we're excited. And
I
here's the
appreciate
code.
it. Yeah, so this takes you to the webpage, rickkatja.com, and it will have all the books as they come out. The second one, 33 or 9, will come out around March time frame. I'm trying to put 6 months in between them. And the third one, I'm trying to figure out the title to it. It'll come out about this time next year. And so you go this code, and right now it's on pre-sale through Amazon and Barnes & Noble, which is to October 20th. And but you can order it through BookBaby as a paperback, or you can order it through ebook on either one of them. What I ask is if you do order it and give me a review on it. Only ravishing reviews will do.
Sure.
All right. So that's that part right there. And I will be doing some book signings. I'll be at the Upshur County Library and the Titus and the Mount Pleasant Library for sure. I have some others lined up, but I'm waiting to get feedback on them. I think the 15th and the 29th. 15th I'm at Mount Pleasant Library, and then the 29th I'm at Upshur County, and the 22nd I have two, but I'm waiting to get them back.
That's just exciting.
It is. It's something I never thought I would do, to be honest.
When you first said book signing, and this is going to be crazy. You and I both love the movie National Treasure. Remember when the second one started, and what was his name? The young kid had wrote the book that ended up helping them solve the second one.
Yeah.
But I remember they're at the book signing and they're towing away his Lamborghini. So when you get a Lamborghini, don't get it towed away.
Everything I read, authors don't make a lot of money.
Yeah,
Just
that's
throwing it
true.
out there. So we're scrapping
right.
and fighting. So thank you very much, and thank you for letting us do this on the
Yes.
Coach and the Vet Coach, because I wanted to really get this out there
Excited.
for another venue. And so go read about Rick and Katja, please.
One more time, there it is, guys.
Yeah.
The man, the myth, the legend.
So with that, I think it's time from the coach.
To the author, Ian Griffin, the vet.
Stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned.